Hi, Sailor Moon here, and Sailor Uranus here, and today we're going to talk about why we do not skim or cut or clean our films. And I know we made this film sundry times, but we are going to truly talk about why we don't do it. Now, first off, every film skimming tool ever made is not really outstanding. But here are some of the grounds. First off, too much time. Now, if you have all the time in the world and you don't have anything to do during the day, like you don't have to, go to work or go to learn or anything you got to do at home, then you have all this time to kill and you skilled your film skimming tool, then go at it. But it takes too much time. I don't care what folks say, it does take a lot of time. So that's the first grounds of why we don't do it. Two, there's nothing that tells you how to work the tools. Any film skimming tool you get that's freeware or not, they don't give you a handbook. There isn't really anything that tells you, oh, this setting does this or this tool does that. So you got to learn as you go and then make some mistakes on your film. And keep in mind, you wanted to clean up your film. You wanted to skim your film or whatever you wanted to do, cut your film, and now you're fucking it up. Forgive my speech, but that's what you're doing. Two, they're not as strong as you make them out to be. All these film skimming tools out here always have some kind of weakness. Some of them can't cut nothing out. Some of them really can't make your film brighter, darker. There's always going to be some weakness to them. And everyone's going to say, oh, well, listen, you always has some weakness to them, like, oh, they can't cut nothing out, or it's a hit and miss when they cut something out, or the beginning and end sheet things don't really work that well, or making your films brighter, darker has always got to be some kind of thing. So it's always a hit and miss. So we have these two film skimming tools that came with our reckoner, but then they're shit. Because now, in the past, where now you gotta log in to these film skimming tools. So, yeah, they don't really work very well. And we're not really good at film skimming tools. And it takes too much time. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to do more harm to your film than you think. You want to go on? Yeah, you're right, Sailor Moon. You're right. You're right, Sailor Moon. At the end of the day, the film skimming tools out there, that we worked with are shit. Alright? They take too much time. You're asking way too much out of it for it to cut your films. Either it'll take too much time, because it's got to fillet the film, and that's going to take forever. And then you're just asking for YouTube or UA or Euro to get your film stuck and filleting because you did something to your film on the film skimming tool that the website's going to have a hard time working with. So no, I don't want to go through all that shit. Yeah. And it takes too much time to work in these film skimming tools. They don't really work that well. And some of them do a lot more to fuck up your film than they do to help it. And I know there's going to be haters and trolls out there that will say something like, oh, well, if if you skimmed out your films, I wouldn't have hated on it. Well, that's bullshit, because you would have come up with something else to hate on. Something else you didn't like. Some other, shift the goal steeple. So, yeah, they're not really that good. And I say take too much time. There isn't really any handbook. Nothing to tell you what does what. So you end up, fucking up your film. And that's why we don't skim our films. At the end of the day, our films are lifelike. Or as near to lifelike you'll get. Because all this shit happens in true time, or at least true time when you're filming a film. And in true life, you can't skim or cut nothing out. So why the hell would you do? Why you can't do that in true life? So that's why I don't do it. Because I think our films, are cool the way they are. Back to you, Sailor Moon. Yeah, at the end of the day, you are right about that, Sarah Uranus. I mean, at the end of the day, stand up straight. At the end of the day, film skimming tools are only good if you have the skill and know how to work them. If you have all the time in the world, and you don't care when you get your film uploaded and filleted, go for it. If you can, bypass the whole handicapping of how weak and how, unworkable some of these film skimming tools are, and go for it. But at the end of the day, we choose not to skim or cut or clean our films because we don't like it. And it takes too much time. And when we did do it, it wasn't really anything outstanding. It didn't make our films look any more good. So anyway, hopefully this film tells you why we don't skim or cut our films at all. Why we never will. And if there's someone out there who doesn't like it, well, that's too bad. Anyway, if you like this film, follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Watch the other film we made yesterday over here. I, Sailor Moon, I, Sailor Uranus, and I'll see you later. Goodbye. Farewell.